Good morning, students. In the last class, we were analyzing the functions of human resource management. As we know, HR manager performs two functions. One is the managerial function and the other one is the operative function. So, in the previous class, we have taken care of the managerial functions. Which are the managerial functions? The managerial functions are planning function, organizing function, directing function, and controlling functions. So, we have taken care of all the four managerial functions. In today's class, let's try to understand the operative functions. Okay, so what are the operative functions to be executed, to be done by the human resource manager? Operative functions are those duties which are entrusted to the HR manager. So, in operative function, the HR manager is actually executing the managerial functions in the workplace. So, the function, the work the HR manager does at the actual workplace or in the business operations. It might be supervising or any activity. So in operative functions, the word itself says, okay, so in the actual workplace, whatever planning you have done, it is been implemented in the operative functions. The functions that are directly related to the business operations are called operative functions. Okay, so the operative functions can be further classified into five types. One is the procurement function, then development function, then compensation function, maintenance function, and integration functions. Now let's try to analyze these functions one by one. So the first one is the procurement function. You'll also call it as employment function. So after manpower planning, as I told you, manpower planning is very important as its purpose is to determine right person. Okay, that is the right number of person at the right time at the right place. So once when we have done manpower planning, what is the next thing we have to do? We need to create a pool of prospective candidates. Okay, so you have to create the pool of prospective candidates. So here, higher the number of candidates, okay, higher the number of people applying for your job, greater will be the chances that you will get the best candidates. Okay, and once the pool is created, then you will select the right person through a proper selection process. Okay, for this you will have to make a proper selection process that will give you the right person, right candidate who will further work for your organization. Okay, and that is the reason why most of the companies, okay, specifically the tech companies like Apple, Google, Facebook, okay, so the selection procedure of these particular companies is very tough. Okay, it's not like that they will conduct they will establish or they will establish a advertisement in the newspaper, then some people will apply, then one test is over and they will be selected. No, okay, so they conduct more than 7 to 8 interviews. Okay, so why are they doing so many interviews is that just to make sure that they don't make any error in hiring the person. Okay, so because you can't make a error in selecting the candidates, if you make any errors, then it will become a blunder for you. Okay, suppose if you are selecting a wrong candidate for that particular job, at that time what happens is in future you will have to face the risk, you will have to face the uncertainty, that is if that person is not working well, then it is a loss for the company. Okay, that's why selection of the proper candidate, that is setting up of the proper selection process, is very much essential over here. Okay, then it includes job analysis, HR planning, recruitment, selection, placement, and induction. So all these things, okay, job analysis, HR planning, recruitment, selection, placement, and induction, we are going to study in the further chapter. Okay, in the upcoming chapters we will study about all of these things very detailedly, but for time being I will tell you just the meaning. Okay, so first one comes your job analysis. So what is this job analysis? It is the process of collecting information relating to the operation and responsibilities pertaining to a specific job. Okay, So now job analysis means what? Collecting information relating to the operations. Now for example, there is a post of a lecturer in a, just take, okay, just consider an example. Suppose if there is a vacancy in our college for the post of lecturer, okay, so now they will analyze what is the post for, okay, whether it is for commerce department, whether it is for economics department, whether that post is for the mathematics, okay. So now suppose if that particular post is vacant for the commerce department, okay, so what are the qualification needed, okay, so they will write it, what is the qualification needed, maybe MCom or maybe any other master degree with net, okay. Then they will write the duties, so what might be the duties of this particular college, what is the thing that that particular candidate has to do, so everything will be written. That is analyzing, okay. Job analysis is nothing but collecting the information to that particular job, okay. Then might be what is the experience required, whether experienced people can apply for the job or maybe the freshers can apply, so everything is collected, okay. So that is your job analysis. Then comes your HR planning, okay. So there is a specific job, okay, and what responsibilities and tasks are there in that particular job, that was your job analysis. So this particular human resource planning, this this thing, entire thing, that is everything about human resource planning is in your second chapter. In detail we will study. For timing, HRP is nothing but selecting the right number of candidates for the right job, okay. Next comes your recruitment. So it is a process of searching for prospective employees and stimulating them to apply for the jobs in the organization. So you have studied recruitment in your PU business studies. So recruitment, as we know, it is a positive process. So in the recruitment, as a company, we are trying to collect a pool of candidates, that is as many as people can apply for our job. Now suppose, take the same example of that particular lecturer. Suppose if one post is vacant in our college, then there will be many people, okay. Say for example, there will be at least 10 or 20 people who are applying for that post. So that is what recruitment, okay. So among the 20 people, now if suppose 20 people are applying for the job, it doesn't mean that the college is going to hire all the 20 people, no, okay. Suppose if there is one vacancy, then from that 20 people, one person will be selected, that is one best candidate will be given the job, okay. That is the recruitment. Then comes the selection, okay. So selection is a negative process, okay. Why it is a negative process? Because from the people those who are recruited, the suitable candidates are selected for that particular job if they have required skill and qualification, okay. Again take the same example of the college itself. Now suppose if there are, as I told you, 20 candidates have applied for a particular job, that is for the post of lecturer. Might be in the job analysis, that is in the newspaper advertisement, it was mentioned that the candidate applying should have 5 years of experience, okay. Now in the recruitment process, might be many people have applied who have less than 5 years of experience, okay, or maybe some were freshers, some were having 2 years experience, some were having 4 years experience, okay. So now in selection process, what they will do is, the person who is matching the job analysis information, okay, so whatever the prescribed details were given in the recruitment time, so the one who is matching that particular quality will be selected. That's why selection is a negative process, okay. Why? Because only the few people are selected and the rest are sent home, okay. Next comes your placement, okay. So what is this placement? Placement is nothing but the selected candidates are finally given the job matching the employee's qualification. Now once qualification, experience, skill, now once that particular person is selected, okay, then after the selection, now that particular candidate who was selected, he will be given the place, okay. That is, you have to work in this particular department, you have to engage this particular subject. So as per the requirement of that particular job, the job will be given, Okay, so here HR manager's work is to place the right candidate. So it is the job of HR manager to get the best and the right candidate. Then induction, introducing the work environment, practices and policies and people to the newly selected candidates. So induction is nothing but now the new selected candidate is been um, has entered the organization. Okay, now take for example the new lecturer has entered our college. So it's not like that particular person is been placed and finished. No, he should be introduced. Okay, he should be introduced to his colleagues, he should be introduced to the office members, he should be introduced to the library. Okay, so where is the library, where are the classrooms, where is the lab, so everything is to be introduced to him. Okay, so that is what induction, to make him like feel home. Okay, him or her to feel like home, that is induction. Okay, so next we'll move on to the development function. So this function is concerned with development of knowledge, skills, aptitude, status of employees to make them work with confidence and zeal. Okay, so development means nothing but increase in knowledge, skills of the employees. Okay, see, whatever the skills are there in the particular employee, those are to be enhanced. Okay, those are to be increased. Suppose if there are any weaknesses found in that employee, okay, suppose if he is lacking behind in some area, that need to be that is needed to be corrected. Take for example, there are 5 employees working under me. Okay, say I have some computer related business. Okay, so there is a particular person who is not well versed with MS Word. Okay, he knows to type, but he doesn't know to type very fast. Okay, but whatever the requirement in my particular business is, he must be working very fast. Okay, that is, the typing work should be in a very speedy manner. So what I will do is, I will give that particular person a training of 7 days. Okay, so in order to increase his speed, in order to increase his skill. Okay, now for this particular 7-day period of training, I incurred a cost of rupees 3000. Now what is this 3000? It is a expense for me as a company. Okay, as a business, as the business owner, for me it is a expense, but still I am bearing it. Okay, why I am bearing it? Because the ultimate benefit is being taken by me. Okay, suppose if that particular employee is working correctly, then the benefit is for the company. That is what development. Okay, now it includes training and development, career planning and development, performance appraisal. So there are two things over here. Okay, one is training, the other is development. So training is generally a narrow level term. Okay, whereas development is a broader level term. Okay, suppose if there is any physical activity, then training will be given. Like suppose if you want to handle machines, then you will give training. And suppose if the work is related to official work, okay, or conceptual work, or related to the upper level management work, then development will be done. So please listen carefully. So in training, your skill, aptitude level, ability will be increased, okay, for a particular or specific job. Whereas in development, overall concept is done. Okay, now suppose if I am teaching that particular employee, okay, my employee, if I am teaching only the things related to MS Word, then it is training. Suppose if I am teaching him everything related to computer, okay, each and every application related to computer, then it is development. I hope it is clear. Okay, then career planning. So what is this career planning? Under this, the HR manager will consider a particular individual. Okay, he will observe and understand his skills, aptitude, qualification, potentials. Then according to these skills, he will plan where the particular individual can go in the future. Okay, so here what the HR manager will do for a particular employee, he will see, suppose if I place him in this department today, okay, so if he is working very efficiently, then tomorrow I can promote him to the other department, then to the higher and higher. Okay, so that is what career planning. Okay, deciding the path of a particular employee for the future, that is career planning. Okay, then finally your performance appraisal. So performance appraisal is nothing but evaluation of the performance of the employees. Okay, now for that particular year, say for for a financial year, the employees are given their duties. So at the end of the financial year, their performance will be calculated. Okay, their performance will be measured. It might be done by the peers, it might be done by the superiors or the managers or anyone. Okay, and that performance will be communicated to the employees as well. Okay, suppose if the performance is good, then obviously they will be given incentives. If not, then they will be given some tips or they will be given some training to correct that particular area. Okay, then we'll move on to the compensation function. So it is concerned with providing fair remuneration to the employees in the form of salary and wages. Okay, so here it is the process of deciding how much an employee should be paid. Okay, it is really a very important function. So you have to see to it that there are various levels of management. Okay, it might be the top level, middle and the lower level. So now the fixation of salary cannot be done the same for each and every level. Okay, and generally the top level will be paid a lot, then middle level, then the lower level. So deciding how much is to be paid, that is also the task of the HR manager. So it includes compensation, incentives, bonus, benefits and facilities related to a job function. The important goal of compensation administration is to design a low cost pay plan that will attract, motivate and retain competent employees, which is also perceived to be fair by these employees. Okay, so here the duty of HR manager is to bring low cost plan. Okay, so what is this low cost plan? It is nothing but we have to pay as much as lesser salary as possible as a HR manager. Okay, but also you have to see to it that the employees are also satisfied with that salary. Okay, it is nothing but for the company it should be lower cost, but it should not be like the employees are complaining the salary is less. No. Okay, even the employees should feel satisfied, even the plan should be low. Okay, so incentives, these are nothing but in addition to the basic wages, some extra money will be given on the basis of their performance. Okay, so in today's class we took care of three operative functions. First one is the procurement, where we do the work of hiring, then development and then the compensation function. So I think this much is enough for the day. If you are not understanding the concepts, then please let me know. So that's it for the day. Thank you.